What do you say to people if opposite you someone's doing that?
I don't say anything. Like totally British, you don't say anything. I just sit there and sometimes see. I mean, the thing is, like social media, people have forgotten that there are personal boundaries, and it is quite selfish. I mean, if you want to take the time to do it on the tube, that's entirely up to you. If you can't get yourself together, if you're too lazy or too lazy, or
but how is it too lazy? So, for example, I've got
get up earlier.
I've got 4 children. I'd rather spend an extra 20 minutes in bed or an extra 20 minutes making sure that... It might be lazy, you call it lazy. I call it utilising my time effectively. If I'm on a train for 2 hours, how is it selfish?
But how selfish? First of all, it's visually polluting.
Why is it visually? I don't want that bad.
Secondly, there's the hairspray going, or nail varnish. I sat opposite a woman on the tube last week who got a big brush out into the bronzer, went... Tap, 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 went all over the man next to her before she went like that. You know, so it's just
what about Jessica's point? If you're on a train for 2 hours, apart from reading and getting lost in your phone, it's actually it's quite a good use of the time to use it
for quite use.
No children around, no one else making demands on you.
Fine, but that's why I'm saying it's selfish, because you're not taking.
It's crazy that you think it's
you're
selfish.
not considering other people.
Well, then, do you read a newspaper on the train?
It's just.
So when you're like this,
no, I
opening
don't
the
read a paper on the train.
Or do you read a book or do a laptop?
I read a paper. I have never done man-spreading or elbowed
anybody. I've never done powder tapping.
Well, OK, but the thing is, who are you doing it for?
For me. I want to make sure that when I get off the train...
Who are you doing your face for?
For me.
Yes, and then... But why don't you do it for...
Why do I have to do it at home? Or why do I have to do it for anybody else?
Because it's a private thing.
Why is it a private thing? Do you put your lipstick on the train?
I don't mind lipstick and I don't mind
mascara. Where's the boundary then?
There is a boundary.
What is the difference?
There's a difference to just touching up what's there, to starting, getting the concrete mixer going.
Jessica, have you ever done the hairspray thing that Katie did there?
I've not done the hairspray thing, but I will be honest, sometimes I go out with my rollers on, or sometimes I put the straighteners in, I've been like, oh, to do a quick curl.
So you'll plug them in and actually take the electricity and do that properly on the train?
Yeah, pretty much.
Do you feel guilty about doing that? Feel like I'm overstepping the boundary here, but do you know what? I've just got to make the most of the time.
I always say, oh, do you mind if I just do this? I always make sure I don't just plug it in and take off the table. Yeah, of course I do. Like, sometimes if I'm going to an event and I've got to be ready, like, I've got 4 children, so I make sure they're in bed, jump on the train. I'd rather just straighten my hair or just make myself look a little bit more presentable on a train when I've got a good 2 hours than miss 2 hours putting my kids to bed.
Yes, but you're disrespecting the other people.
Not really. I have to don't mind if they mind. They're not actually. Would you put it away?
You don't care what the other people think.
That's an interesting question, though, Nina, because you said you won't say anything to somebody because you're very English about it.
So if Jessica said to you...
If Jessica asked you, do you mind if I just plug in my curlers and straighten my hair or whatever, would you say, actually, I do... Would you think... if you
I would actually say that, yes. And if somebody sprayed hairspray or did nail varnish, I would say, because that is particularly in a tube train. Train is not so bad, but in a tube you're in a really
right on top of each other, aren't you?
You know, on top of each other. And the thing is, where does it end? You know, you get out your mirror and you do your eyebrows. You know, creosote the eyebrows, and then you suddenly see a little stray eyebrow. So out come the tweezers.
Well, Kate does it all the time.
Tweezers, and then you think, I'll just get that.
She does.
It was a long train journey. Yeah. It was a good use of time.
And they were quite bushy, weren't they?
They were blackheads on the tube.
Squeezing blackheads.
Behind the mirror, but it was definitely squeezing blackheads.
So you could choose to look away, though. Why do you look?
No, but this is.
But if it offended you,
have enough self-respect to keep the private things private.
Jessica's got the self-respect, she just doesn't have the time. It's an efficient use of time.
You can make the time.
Of course you can make time, but also I feel that my time is utilised better. And that's it. If I've got a good...
That's
even
selfish.
If I've got
that's arrogant.
But who's it selfish for? Why is it selfish?
You're not caring about the rest of us.
Separate we know we have those quiet
carriages, yes.
What about a separate carriage on every train?
Fine.
Oh, that'd be women to do that makeup.
Actual makeup artist.
Always looking for a solution.
There's an idea. Actually, there's an idea. Let's have a makeup carriage. And
there we go.
Or a carriage for people to carry out the business that they need to do on the way to... So maybe you can eat in there as well. Because I find sometimes we were talking about smelly food, pungent food, makeup.
I would equate heavy makeup to somebody eating food next to me.
There we go. Let's all be in the carriage
of my space, and I don't like it.
But again, it's public transport, so the public do
Respect
various different things.
the public. respect.
Doing your makeup
And keep it private.
Wendy says, I'm very impressed at women who can do this. My lipstick ends up on my cheek and forehead. Let people live their lives. They're not hurting anybody. Amy, she's finishing her makeup on the bus right now. It saves her time and also kills time on a long journey.
Yeah.
Rachel said, I've applied a face mask during a flight, followed up with makeup. I got off 9-hour flight feeling and looking refreshed. Jamie, I saw a guy walking to work this morning shaving with an electric shaver. Rock, unhygienic. Makeup brushes carry huge amounts of bacteria. We said this one earlier. It's awful when people do this. Full of germs.
But also, like, when you're on a train is generally full of germs anyway.
But
so if you're putting your makeup on...
Full of germs because of people like you doing stuff
Not
like
really,
that.
full of germs.
Right. I'm looking forward to that 2-hour train journey with you two later.
Yeah.